Today on CCX News, remembering a student, teammate, and friend. A community is mourning after the drowning of a Brooklyn Center student athlete. 17-year-old Emmanuel Seward Jr. was identified as the victim of an accidental drowning at a Waite Park quarry. According to a release from the Stearns County Sheriff's Office, Seward jumped off a 10-foot-high cliff into the water at the Quarry Park and Nature Preserve on Tuesday afternoon. He was found in 31 feet of water after a 4-hour search. As Emily Haugen reports, his high school baseball coach is remembering him for his smile and energy.
He tried to rip the ball out, Seward wrapping him up.
Emmanuel Seward was a Brooklyn Center high school student athlete. He participated in football and baseball, and CCX caught some of his teamwork in action. Brooklyn Center high school baseball coach Kevin Pittman shared a photo on Facebook remembering Emmanuel, who he called E-Man.
Seward getting set to bat here.
Pittman recalled Emmanuel's trademark smirk and said he will always remember him with that smile on his face. In his heartfelt post, Pittman wrote, quote, "Our little baseball program won't be the same without you, E. I take solace in knowing that I never hesitated to tell you that I loved you when I drop you off after practice." Brooklyn Center high school students held a memorial event for Emmanuel on Friday. That event was closed to media. In Brooklyn Center, Emily Haugen, CCX News.
This is the third drowning in Quarry Park in the last 3 years, per reports from the Stearns County Sheriff's Office. A Crystal man accused of keeping the ruby slippers from the movie The Wizard of Oz buried in his backyard for a number of years now could face additional charges. The Crystal Police Department has asked the Hennepin County Attorney's Office to file charges against 76-year-old Jerry Slitterman for organized retail theft, conspiracy to commit theft, receiving stolen property, and domestic assault. During the investigation of the ruby slippers, the FBI and Crystal Police located $400,000 worth of stolen artwork and merchandise at Slitterman's home. Investigators also accused Slitterman of assault and harassment against his wife to ensure she didn't report his involvement in organized crime to police. The city of Brooklyn Center is changing development plans for the last piece of the former Brookdale Mall. The Brooklyn Center Sears closed in 2018. Redevelopment plans have been in the works for years. The owners previously had the go-ahead to plan a light industrial development, but the city council rezoned the property this week to allow for mixed uses, including townhomes or apartments.
There's been a lot of back and forth that industrial is the only thing that can be developed there. There's no other use that will work for that site. But we've heard otherwise from city staff.
I originally did support the light industrial just because I thought it would be good for the city, but what worked then may not work now.
The council unanimously supported the rezoning, but the property owner was against the move, saying they'd have to take their plans back to the drawing board. The Brooklyn Park City Council is considering a policy to limit the number of times council members can attend meetings remotely. Some don't see the need for the policy, but others see attendance in person as an important function of being a council member.
I don't get this. I think we got more pressing things to do than worry about somebody appearing via Zoom meeting, and they want to appear via Zoom meeting. Why is this a problem?
If you have been tracking these meetings, they tend to go a lot smoother when we're all here in person. I prefer to have city councilors here because it's much easier when you can see folks, you can see the expressions. It's better to hear, it's better to point out details.
Councilmember Morrison claimed the whole policy was designed because of Councilmember Maria Tran attending remotely. Tran has accused the mayor of bullying her. Tran was later censured by the council for an alleged verbal attack on a city employee. The matter was tabled to allow the council to discuss possible exceptions to the policy. It's Whiz Bang Days in Robbinsdale. It's also an opportunity to celebrate artwork in the community. Dustin Scholl gives us a tour.
We're very excited. We always have such a nice variety with a members show. We have 61 works of art by 27 different artists, and 9 of those artists are brand new members to Robin Gallery of Art. So we're very excited about that. Anytime we can grow a little bit with new membership, it's a wonderful thing. This doll, titled Full of Gratitude, is just an incredible combination of different techniques. This piece is a pigment print, which is a digital technique. The movement in this one is just incredible. This abstract piece done in acrylic just really, really jumps. Very much a variety, something for everyone. And then on Saturday, it is a big day in Robbinsdale. For Robin Gallery, we have our annual Art on the Lawn with live music, a food truck, artists and crafters and vendors on the back lawn. We do a community art project. You can just come and have a lot of fun.
It may be hot this weekend, but Thursday night was a great night for the Maple Grove Days Parade. CCX News was among the nearly 100 participants who took part in the annual parade along 89th Avenue in Maple Grove. We leave you now with a look at some of the smiling faces along the parade route.
The 2024 USA Cup, the country's biggest youth soccer tournament, kicked off Friday morning. Earlier this week, Jay Wilcox caught up with Sarah Soley from USA Cup to chat about this year's tournament.
It's a fantastic tradition in the North Metro. The Target USA Cup starts with the weekend version of the tournament coming up on Friday through Sunday. Sarah Soley joins us now, and Sarah, the tournament seems to be back to full speed after we had the pandemic. Is everything going well and getting preparation going for this 2024 edition?
Yeah, everything's going really well, minus all the rain. But we're excited. We're welcoming 1,180 teams this year, really the largest that we can remember.
And one of the great things about this event is obviously first and foremost the games, but you have so many things for players and their families to do here. What are some of the highlights in that regard this year?
Yeah, Target's back. They're giving away lots of product. They have DJs and games. Liquid IV will be here with a hydration station. Cliff Bar's having a climbing wall. Minnesota United will have player appearances. So lots and lots of activities.
Sounds like we do have some warm weather coming up, and you mentioned rain. Flooding has been an issue for parts of the state, but how in general are the fields here?
Overall, they're really pretty good. I mean, we're up to 9 turf fields now, which definitely helps a lot when it comes to weather. But there's a few that are a little soggy, so we're keeping our eyes on them and hoping that the heat and wind help dry those out.
Obviously, you got kind of 2 tournaments in one, as we said, with the weekend and then the full tournament. You know, how has that settled in? Is everybody kind of used to how that goes, and you know, how do those 2 events work together?
Yeah, I mean, overall it feels like one big tournament, but yeah, there will be a winner, declared in every division on Sunday, and then we'll start it all over again Tuesday. But I do think people are pretty familiar with the format.
Everybody's always interested, of course, in the teams that come internationally, and that's a big part of this event. But is it a big tradition for teams around the Twin Cities too, that they just look forward to coming back and being part of it year after year?
Yes, definitely. I think there's, some kids who've probably played in 10 or 11 different USA Cups, and that's so much fun for them to remember those, days, the pins that they've traded over the years, all of those activities.
Not a World Cup year, but it is an Olympic year. Does that provide any extra spark sometimes for this tournament too?
Yeah, I think just the popularity of soccer has grown, and then you're seeing the Copa Games and the Olympics coming up, so I think there's just a lot of energy around the sport right now.
I know opening ceremonies has always been a big deal for this event too. How is that shaping up for this year?
Yeah, we're excited about opening ceremonies. I think it'll be one of the biggest team march-ins of all time, with all the countries and states being represented. There'll be some great energy and music and mascots, so fun for the whole family.
Sarah, thanks so much for joining us. We look forward to this event every year, and hopefully it'll be a great one in 2024.
Thanks for having me.
A handful of local teams are competing in the huge 96-team Gopher Classic American Legion Baseball Tournament that started Friday morning, including Osseo. Osseo Legion post 172 in their first game of the tournament, taking on Box Elder, South Dakota from Rapid City. Bottom of the second inning, a perfect bunt by Box Elder's Will Waddell. Osseo can't get it out. Paxton Fisher slides in safely. It's 1-0 after 2. Box Elder breaks it open in the third. Another great bunt here, this time by Tegan Smith. Mason Brooks comes in standing up to make it 2-0. They would also add runs on a bases-loaded walk and a wild pitch. And then here's the big blow of the inning. Ian Beer lifts one to short center field that drops for a base hit. Blake Olmstead slides in with the run following Smith. Beer's 2-run single puts Box Elder ahead 6-0 after 3. Same score in the top of the 6th. Osseo gets on the board. Eli Larson with a ground ball that gets past second and into right field for a single. Jackson Berg scores to make it 6-1. But Box Elder goes on to win 8-1. Pool play at the Gopher Classic at all 16 sites across the metro continues through Sunday night. In Anoka, John Jacobson, CCX Sports. Find more prep sports games and highlights at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.